this is the topic which I'm taking up, that is opportunities in agri and the rural startups under Atmanirbhar Bharat challenges and opportunities. Now, the moment you start searching what this agri startup and rural startup is, just a minute. Okay. What this agri startup and rural startup is, so you will find that one of the searches talks about that there are 10 agri startups in India helping the farmers. Now, my basic objective of or how the participants can take up this particular talk is, don't look it at the point of view of that this pertains to agriculture engineering, since there are many participants or there may be many participants who are from different directions, be it computers, be it civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics. You have to look in that direction, that what input these engineering departments have given to this direction of agriculture engineering. What, as a photograph, you are saying that you are only seeing all those particular plants planted in the row, but you know that however the use of technology in agriculture industry has been limited in India. As a result, agriculture industry in India contributes merely 17 to 18% of its GDP. In the last couple of years, India has seen a rise in number of agri startups that not only making the technology more accessible, but also help these farmers to improve their lives today. Uh, Let us look at these particular 10 agri startups helping the Indian farmers. So one is the Ninja startup, and founded by Kumar Nagarajan, Ashutosh Vikram. One thing, the objective of reading these names are that you should get sensitized that when you talk about startups, it needs a group of students who together will divide the work and will take up some form of startups to solve any particular problem. They started B2C, business to consumer, hyperlocal food delivery startup, transformed into B2B, business to business agri startup, in order to solve fresh agricultural produce supply chain problem for farmer to retailer. And this particular news is of January, that is last year, and they have raised 164.2 million from the Tiger Global Management, SL, Qualcomm Ventures. So these are basically the venture capitalists. Most of, whenever we talk about venture capitalists nowadays, everybody talks about the episodes of Shark Tank and so on. And if you refer to their website, revolutionizing the fresh produce supply chain, about us, future, career opportunities, everyone, and so on. Now let us see that when we move towards career, what it has to say, that what are the various suitable positions that you can find it in this particular organization at this moment. So they are always on the lookout for right person to join the Ninja clan. And here, let us move to the next one. Here, the next one is Way Cool, again by two Karthik Jayarajan, Jaya Raman and Sanjay Dasari, July again 2015. Way Cool offers now one more thing. One should be able to, when we talk about startups, we always talk about innovations. Most of the time when you ask the students that what kind of startup you want to start, the immediate answer is that I want to do what this Amazon is doing, Swiggy is doing, or uh, you know all this particular Domino's is doing, and so on. Now, what is the basic issue? The moment any student says or gives an answer that I want to do something like what the Facebook is doing or what the Amazon is doing, what do you see that when a student gives such an answer? Any of the participants? When you ask a student, he just says that I will do like this, I will do like this. Like this means I will do like what is actually happening in the field. When he replies in that particular fashion, what attitude you see in the student regarding that answer?
Still, the students are not that much enthusiastic. I have seen the students have been discussing all these issues, but they are not that much enthusiastic to really, they would be really successful to that extent or not. I mean, they have a lot of doubts in their mind.
Okay, that is one thing. I see it in another direction. In case anybody can and would like to answer, I see the answer in this particular manner. The student has not come out of the phase of copy paste. When I was in my previous institution, I never used to give the students the same assignment questions. I always used to give one question, but that one question will be an individual question. If I'm giving you some problem, that problem will have different values, so that you will be forced to calculate what its value will be. You can copy the procedure, but it is not that you are going to copy the answer. Now that is what I'm trying to say here, that when the moment they jump and say that well I will be doing just like Amazon and Facebook, भाई इसका मतलब ये है कि आप कॉपी पेस्ट से अभी बाहर नहीं आए हो, you don't want to come at all. The moment they give you another reply saying that well yes I will like to do this thing which is different from what is existing, that is where your role or your startup might start coming up, or one can think about that. That's what I want to say. Now, okay, here we talked about first startup, that is Ninja Cart, and here for those who were talking about that this is an agri startup, what? So here you can see that this Ninja startup at this moment they are asking for an admin, senior procurement executive. They want somebody from who can talk about business analytics, mid-career roles. And another thing is that many a times the freshers, they say that look, we don't have the job, so for them it is like early career roles, mid-career roles, data engineer, senior data engineer, managers, associate directors. You want to talk about technology, so they want developer engineers, human resource, reseller platforms. No doubt, many of the basically, the participants might be thinking that we are talking more closer for business and the computers people. But then what I would like to say here is that even in other departments of civil engineering and so on, we used to have such students who were very good in programming, and when it comes to the recruitment in these particular startups and so on, we very well know that at this particular moment they do talk about degrees, but then they talk about your skills as well. So this was the career in Ninja Cart. Then Way Cool, another one. This Way Cool, I have already talked about that this uses that technology to control end-to-end agriculture supply chain, right from farming inputs to last mile distribution, to help farmer to sell their produce through multiple distribution channels. And here you see they want to talk about to sell fresh agricultural produce supply chain for farmers and the retailers. So they might be having some way or the other differences between what is actually existing in the market. And in this particular way cool, here you can see full stack agri-commerce platform experience way cool. Check out the brands to which they they are dealing with, and so on. Now this is another. Here you can see that this is, you will find Maharashtrian language in this, and this is the one that is AgroStar. This is the AgroStar, founded by brother Shardul Seth and Sithanshu Seth, 2000 again 10 13. They offer online marketplace for farmers to buy agricultural input. Means the farmers, they normally find difficulty in purchasing the agricultural the input for them. And this agriculture startup also helps farmer by providing real time advice from the experts on how to manage their crops, boost their yield, and they have raised 42 million. Then talking about the next one, that is DHeart. These offers agricultural services like access to agricultural input, seeds, and so on. They even talk about microfinance, insurance, weather reports, and they have raised this much of money. So again, in this particular all these websites, when I want to talk about opportunities, along with the opportunities that what the students can do, the students can even look into such kind of startups as their career opening basically points for their own jobs. Like here you can see engineering manager, developer, VP engineering, engineering 1, 2, 3, web application securities and front end, back end, Android, and so on and so on. Let us see some more startups. Then after this is Intello Labs. In this case, these group saw that let us talk about dairy farmers cooperatives to maximize their profit by digitizing and optimizing the milk procurement cold chain management, again through IoT based smart move platform. Founded by Nikhil Tripathi, they want to discover new supplier, maintain ledgers, make payments, access working capital through its app to scale their business. Bijak. So here, okay. Now this is the same one, that is DHeart. This is the website of Intello Labs. So this is the website, that is a one-stop dairy supply chain digitization via IoT, Internet of Things. And here you can see that learn how we do it, that is cattle monitoring, milk procurement, cold chain management, and so on. And then one can get into all these particular details of career, what they were talking about, scale up your business profit by improving the efficiency of milk procurement operations with smart AMCU, and so on. And then this is that particular optimize your supply chain by getting data driven and actionable insight with Move OPT, ERP, MovePay, and so on and so on. In this case of website of BJAC, that is online agri, optimizing through accountability. And here they want to talk about network bookkeeping, working capital, alerts and reminders, uh, payments, rating, and so on. So here I just want to know whether, as you can see that when we talk about all these network bookkeeping, working capital, is it any of your students, which could be maybe 5 years or 10 years back, he has done some engineering, and he has seen some particular problem related to agricultural or rural startup and has opened up any of the startup which we can show it here, because otherwise here I would like to give the case study of my own colleague, that although he did civil engineering, but then he saw what is the ground reality and then he had developed some particular software. So, but before that, I wanted to know, in case any of those remote centers can give up any particular case study which we can show it to the other participants. Let me show you the case study related to, in my case, that is here you can see I'm talking about a website here in Chandigarh itself. He was one of my we did the graduation together. Then although he did BE civil engineering, but then he went on to the direction of software development. And what he found in the market was that whatever these billing that they do, they lack all those concept of billing register. So it's a complete business management software suitable for small business like restaurants, retail shops, wholesale stores, small manufacturers. You might say that, well, we also see all those particular billing registers and so on. But what I'm trying to say that he he did not develop it now, but then he has been in this particular direction for the past more than 10-15 years. So what he talks about is quickly add your sale invoice, create quote estimate, perform invoices, inbuilt barcode printing, and so on and so on. So all this particular, now how to install this particular billing register, step by step of guide using this particular billing register, holiday recording center, barcoding, invoice printing, and so on and so on. So what I'm trying to say here is that it all depends upon the student to see that what kind of requirement is there, and then what technological knowledge he has. And now then the website of, just a minute. Then let us talk about cropping.com. Founded by Krishna Kumar and Kunal Prasad in 2010, provides one-stop SaaS-based solutions platform enabling agri-business to increase efficiency, productivity, and sustainability. Its platform offers a real-time weather updates, again ability to manage farm activity, predict crop yields to minimize risk and yield better produce. Many times when we talk about the such kind of features, the participants, or most of the time anybody says, well look, we already have all these particular weather updates. We have the ability to manage farm, predict crop yield. If there are many like Kisan Channel and other things are there. So what is the new thing in these particular cases? The new things are that first of all, they were the ones who had actually were talking about these concepts earlier. One, and the second point is that when you go to the market, when I say when you go to the market means when you see the products in the society, you never always see one product in the market, but you see similar. For example, I normally give a very layman's example of soaps or the toothpaste. You don't find one type of toothpaste in the market. You always have multiple brands and multiple with characteristics. Then second, third, fourth. No doubt, some of the products do have a very high, sale value. Others have less sale value, but they do still exist in the market. Similarly, these kind of technologies or these kind of websites are there who are catering to their either the local problems or to some of the points which others might have missed, or they are taking up these things aggressively. For example, cropping, they are talking in 56 countries. They talk about 16 million acres of farmland digitized. They talk about benefiting 7 millions, means 70 lakh farmers across the globes. Their impact on return on investment is 3 times. Their score of adaptability is 92%. They talk about 488 crores. They talk about, sorry, crops. They talk about more than 10,000 crop varieties, and they work with over 250 clients. So this is the kind of impact, or these are the kind of brand, image that they have. This particular Coffin basically. Then there is another, EM3 Agri Services. This is another agri startup. Now this EM3 Agri startup, again by two Rohtash Mal and Son in 2013, helps farmer who can't afford to buy expensive farming technology to rent specialization machines to boost productivity at a cheaper cost. So they were very clear about this aspect that, well, look, you don't have enough money to purchase these particular farm equipments. What we do is that we give you these particular equipments on rent, and then obviously you use it, and then finally return that particular equipment simply. So this is that particular EM3. This is again fast, that is farming as a service, creates a platform that enables technology to reach the farm in an efficient and affordable. Once you see all these particular examples even be given to the students, that do not expect that each and every farmer should purchase the technology. Just see that if he can be given that particular technology on rent. I own 30 acres, manage 100 acres. I have owned my tractor, but Samadhan's four-wheel tractor are much better. They do not get stuck in the field. I take many services every season. I requested Samadhan for harvesting. Their machines do a quicker and better job. Harvested crop is cleaner. Simple. So these are the kind of testimonials that these people have given. Samadhan is professional. They come on time. You know, have less of headache managing the labor, which is unpredictable. 12 acres of land, live in Chandoli. Every implement of Samadhan that goes into the field has created greater value farmer value also. So here you might, for those who are from the mechanical engineering side, they might be able to relate themselves for such kind of agri services. We talk about Intello Labs, and in this case offers digital products like Intello Track, Intello Sort, Pack, Deep, uses technology, computer vision, deep learning to help farmer, retailers, and exporters to access quality of their fruits and vegetables. Yes, in this particular case, let me tell you what you see here. Digitize the food quality, achieve fairer prices, eliminate food loss, and so on, and book the demo and so on. Well, for those who are from the computer engineering side, they might be able to understand that when it comes to checking up the qualities of food and other things, then you start talking about all those artificial intelligence means there is some particular machine which scans it and sees that whether the color, size, and other things are okay, and then you accept that it is of that quality. So it is in this particular direction that this website is there, and that's how you see Intello. When I what I was talking about was Intello Fruit Sort. So reduces the sorting cost by up to 90%. Pure innovation for the delicate sorting touch, designed from scratch to counterbalance gentle handling with productivity. Here you can see intelligence combined with this objective, accurate, avoid damage, and so on and so on. So this is what they have developed is these particular products, and then one can really see that what the cost of these particular services are. So these are some of these particular agri startups. Although we have been telling repeatedly that the students will have to see that what kind of attachment do they have after they do the graduation, what kind of attachment do they have for a particular direction, then and obviously in that particular direction only these particular students can move ahead to start a startup or at least start a business basically for these particular alumni. Now here you can see the fasal. Now this fasal, that is one of the, again, a startup, sustainable development goal up to this and so on. See about us, career, and so on. So how does this fasal work? It is a data driven smart farming, uses farm level data to predict ideal growth conditions including irrigation, sprays, fertigation, and other preventive measures, notify farmer to take informed decision. When it comes to irrigation, spray, fertigation, these kind of components, although is related to agricultural engineering, but then along with that, it now is even the part in the case of civil engineering as well, where we talk about irrigation and other. And they talk about micro, macro climatic condition. Uh, One of the participants, Lokendra Rawat, is writing, due to bad weather condition, heavy rainfall, network is poor, unable to connect. Okay. So Fasal monitors micro and macro climatic conditions below the soil parameters, solar conditions, crop stage, crop growth characterizations, and so on. And irrigation alert, weather forecast, disease and pest, record activities and finance, and so on. So this is basically precise agriculture, disease and pest warning, farm finance management, microclimate forecast, and so on. This is what this particular fasal is all about. And what they claim is that liters of 9 billion liters of water saved, up to 60% reduction in the pesticide cost, increase in the yield is 40%. These are some of the big names of the companies which they with their work, and these are the basically the investors. And then this is all their particular testimonials of the workers. Now some more when we talk about, because my objective was basically to give the exposure to the participants that what are the various agri startups that we normally talk at present in the Indian context. This is the reason that all the examples that I normally give are with respect to Indian context only. And now here, one of the link was that of background paper agri startups. So four agri startups that they talk about, again Cropin, DHeart, these things you will find it in the multiple pages, web pages. Now this is the background paper of promoting startup in agriculture, and here you can see when you talk about market overview, then these are the basically the categorization you talk in terms of main products. You talk about farm mechanization, the challenges what you have in agri oblique opportunities in now. We talked about the opportunities in agri startups. So the point is, what are the challenges or opportunities? So inefficient supply chain. Can the students see that what present supply chain is there, and I start talking about small initiatives where I can decrease the inefficiency of supply chain. You talk about middleman and agents where the farmers are not able to get their right amount what they should get. And for instance, organized retailers are estimated to source 20% of their produce directly from the farmers. Rest is from mandis. Mandi is not an ideal farmer market. Traders require a license to operate within mandi, but wholesale and retail traders, food processing companies cannot buy produce, and so on and so on. Lack of financing, inadequate irrigation. You see each and every component as an opportunity to talk about startup in a particular local area. Farm size versus productivity. The Agri-Tech Sub Sector, these are some of the various, what they did is that they have categorized these particular sub-sector startups. So upstream market model, matching agri input seller to farmer, this is one category. This is input based, this is output based, that is farm to fork supply chain. Means once your produce is ready, you now talk about sabji wala, crop farm, krishi star, and so on, matching the farmer to business or retail customer for fresh produce. You talk about farming as a service, providing the equipments. You talk about IoT or big data led innovation. You talk about engineering led innovation. So this is where again the startups need to see that in which direction they would like to get into, that is with respect to subsectors. And although this particular data is still 2017, but then this is what the companies that were created, funding amount, number of rounds, and the funding deals in India with respect to different startups, about which I have already talked about. This is what is the split. Now, although Maharashtra being one of the very big states, but you talk about the kind of number of startups that they talk about is far beyond what, although one of the largest states, that is Uttar Pradesh, and only most of them are from the south or west, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, then Haryana, and so on. And then we move towards other states and so on. So for those particular participants who are from, although these startups might have come up a lot now, but then they can see that the relativity between the number of startups. And these are some of the focus areas for agri startups: big data, farming as service, market linkage models, fintech, financial technology for farmers. So farm income is mostly in cash. It presents an opportunity for fintech startups to digitize the payment for farmers through payment gateways linked to their accounts and so on. IoT for farmers. These are some of the schemes that are going on still. That is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Krishi Vikas Yojana, Paramparagat, that is traditional. That is, we talk about balanced use of chemical fertilizer and enhance the quality of farm produce, or you talk about agriculture technology management agencies and so on. Now, these are some of, again, under these challenges, 12 problem statements were issued in the following areas: development of simplified sensor based quick test method to test the nutrients in the soil. So, for your information, although similar kind of efforts can be made by other institutions as well. Let me show you. This was the recent startup by IIT Kanpur, or the product from them, that is Bhu Parikshak, which is able to test the nutrients of the soil within some 90 seconds. So here you can see I'm just opening up this website, as well as just to sensitize the participants that soil testing developed in IIT Kanpur, and salient features is the simultaneous determination of multiple parameters, and that too using spectroscopy and IoT technology. And so here let us see the demonstration.
ये हमारा भू परीक्षक डिवाइस है जो हमने आईआईटी कानपुर में डेवलप किया है, और ये डिवाइस हम यूज करते हैं मिट्टी की गुणवत्ता को जांचने के लिए। इस डिवाइस के अंदर ये कुछ
सर स्क्रीन शो नहीं हो रहा है, स्क्रीन
को पहचान करती है। इस डिवाइस के साथ ये कप है जिसमें हम सॉइल
यस एनीबॉडी
रखेंगे।
सर स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हो रहा सर, और वीडियो दिख नहीं रहा सर। प्लीज शेयर स्क्रीन।
The screen is already shared in case any of the
इस डिवाइस के नीचे एक व्हाइट सीट है जो
screen is not visible, sir.
Sir, can you share once again, sir, the screen?
Sir, screen share नहीं हो पा रहा है।
I don't know. Here, just a minute. I'm stopping the screen share, and again I am entire screen.
हम कैलिब्रेशन के लिए यूज करते हैं। हमारे इस डिवाइस के साथ एक भू परीक्षक ऐप है, जिस ऐप से ये डिवाइस कनेक्ट होती है ब्लूटूथ के थ्रू, और यहाँ से हम डिवाइस को ब्लूटूथ से कनेक्ट कर लेते हैं। फिर हम व्हाइट सीट रखते हुए इस डिवाइस को बंद करेंगे इसे लॉक करेंगे और यहाँ पे एक कैलिब्रेशन बटन है हमारे ऐप में, जिसे आप क्लिक करेंगे तो ये डिवाइस कैलिब्रेशन शुरू करेगी। ये डिवाइस करीब 90 सेकंड के अंदर अंदर ये कैलिब्रेट कर देगी और साथ में यहाँ पे हम पिक्टोरियल फॉर्म में स्टेटस देख सकते हैं, जो हमें बताएगी कि हमारा प्रोग्रेस कितना हो चुका है डिवाइस का कैलिब्रेशन। एक बार जब हमारा डिवाइस कैलिब्रेट हो जाएगी तो फिर हम इसके अंदर मिट्टी की सैंपल रखेंगे। इसमें हमारे पास है छनी हुई और सूखी मिट्टी, जो हम इस कप के अंदर रखेंगे। जब हम इसमें मिट्टी रखेंगे तो इसे पूरा प्रॉपर फैलाना होगा कप के अंदर, ताकि कोई भी बीच में बम्प टाइप का ना बने। मिट्टी रखने के बाद हम इस डिवाइस को वापस इसमें लॉक करेंगे कप के ऊपर और यहाँ पे बटन है स्कैन। इस स्कैन बटन को दबाएंगे। स्कैन बटन दबाते ही हमारा डिवाइस मिट्टी की जांच करना शुरू कर देगी और ये करीब 90 सेकंड टाइम लेगी कंप्लीट होने में। मिट्टी की जांच पूरी होने के बाद हमारा सॉइल का न्यूट्रिएंट्स वैल्यू हमारे मोबाइल स्क्रीन के ऊपर डिस्प्ले करेगी, जिसमें हम अभी नाइट्रोजन, ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन, क्ले, पोटासियम, फास्फोरस एंड कैटायन एक्सचेंज कैपेसिटी हमारे डिवाइस जांच करती है, जो कि सॉइल की मैक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स है। साथ में हम इसके मेन्यू में जाके फर्टिलाइजर रिकमेंडेशन देख सकते हैं कि हमें इस मिट्टी में किस फसल के लिए कितना फर्टिलाइजर यूज करना होगा। जैसे हम यहाँ से सेलेक्ट करते हैं राइस मीन्स धान या चावल, तो फिर हमें यहाँ पे बता देगी कि कौन सा फर्टिलाइजर कॉम्बिनेशन हमें यूज करनी है इस मिट्टी में, सो हमारा अनाज की उपज ज्यादा से ज्यादा बढ़ सके और हमारा फर्टिलाइजर की क्वांटिटी भी मेंटेन रहे। क्योंकि कभी कभी उनको समझ नहीं।
Yes, any questions?
Sir, your screen is not visible, sir. It showed for 1 minute or two, then it again got disappeared.
What I will do is that I will then just share the link.
Okay, sir.
I'm just sharing this particular YouTube link in this case, and what you can do is later on. I don't know why this YouTube screen is not visible. Maybe there are some issues with respect to accessibility. I don't know. But is this particular screen visible?
No, sir. Right now you're not presenting, sir.
Okay. Yes, it has actually it has stopped. I don't know how. Is the screen visible now?
Now it's visible.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes,
this
sir.
is the so this is the website, and I have already shared the link with you. So here you can see the Bhu Pariksha capable of generating soil health report. I did talk about the soil scientist in the Kisan Vigyan Kendra, and they said that we want 2 days to test any particular soil nutrients. But now you can see the kind of technology when you start talking about technological applications. So it is just matter of minutes with respect to this Bhu Parikshik device. And this is a very practical, when you see this particular video, it's very practical कि ठीक है भाई 90 मिनट के अंदर में बता दिया कि आखिर में आपका components क्या है, and then it is just a mere calculations that fine if I want to, मुझे यदि ये crop लगाना है तो मुझे किस तरह का fertilizer वगैरह लगाना है and so on. So with respect to this one, when we start talk about agri startup, so here you can see this was one of the problems. Then real time assaying and quick grading solutions for ENAM, that is Electronic National Agriculture Market, to effectively handle huge lot of agricultural commodities, to create a unified national market for agricultural commodity for pan-India electronic trading, and assaying of agricultural produce at the market level is of utmost to enhance marketability of produce, to enable farmer to realize price commensurate to the quality of agriculture, huge volumes of arrival and smaller lot, to provide quick quality assaying solutions, to promote online trading, challenges seeking development of quick grading and assaying solution for enams which can be connected to the internet to increase. So when you talk about quick grading, you can already see that such kind of crop-in kind of concepts have already come up. Then development of e-marketplaces to connect food processors with the agripreneurs to bridge the value gap farm to fork. And it is here that post-harvest management, including agricultural marketing, has not kept pace with the change in economy. The need to unify market both at state is therefore important to provide better price to farmer, quickly supply chain, reduce wastage, create a unified national market. And this is the reason that last year this agri infrastructure fund, that is not last but last to last year, this agri infrastructure fund, this aspect has been created under which 1 lakh crore has been allocated, and every year 10,000 crores have been allocated with respect to this direction to reduce wastage, create a unified national market for. It should not happen कि जहां पर उग रही है वहां तो बहुत सस्ती है और उसके बाद में फिर मुझे बाद में जब अब चाहिए तो फिर दिक्कत हो रही है, मुझे मटेरियल नहीं मिल रहा. So when here you can see about this particular scheme basic objectives. My request to the participants, or further you can tell to the students, is to kindly see that when they want to talk about startups, they should not talk with respect to what technologies they have learned, but they should see that what is the requirement at the government level. Financing facilities will have numerous objectives for all stakeholders in agriculture ecosystem. So basically the objective is improved marketing infrastructure to allow farmer to sell directly to a larger base of consumer and hence increase value realization. Investment in logistic infrastructure, farmer will be able to sell in the market with reduced post-harvest loss and a smaller number of intermediaries. Modern packaging, cold storage system access, farmer will be able to further decide when to sell in market and improve realization. Community farming asset for improved productivity and optimization of input. When you talk in context of government, they have their own, will be able to structure viable PPP, that is public-private partnership project for attracting investment. For agri entrepreneurs and startups, you can have a dedicated source of funding. Entrepreneurs will push for innovation in agriculture sector by leveraging new technologies including IoT. Banking ecosystem, consumers. So these are basically, and then the beneficiary, when you go to beneficiary registration model, DPRs and so on, login, connect us, who can apply. These are basically, the eligible projects. Organic input production, biostimulant production units, and so on. So here now when you talk about post-harvest management projects like warehouse, silos, packaging units, assay units, sorting and grading, the students should not talk in context of individual application technology, but they should talk as an integrated technology application. Then only they will be able to get in pace with respect to this agricultural infrastructure funds basically. And then you talk about the fund allocation. So here you can see these many much of the fund allocations that has already been given. That is, I talked about 1 lakh crore. So this 1 lakh crore allocation is 12,000 crores have already been allocated for Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan. And so when I say that allocation doesn't mean the money has been given, but it has been allocated. It's only that later on, once the money is available, it will talk about the distribution. These eligible institutions, the interest rate, and all those many other things can be talked with the students. Then the third was price forecast system. Price dependent on various external factors. Mechanism may be developed by startups who can use data of past trend and then talk about pricing forecast of the particular crops and so on. Because that's how basically the farmers get driven to talk about. For example, when you talk about lot of mushrooms, so many people started making mushroom. Now the cost of mushroom has gone down. Then when they saw the cash crop of the strawberry, so they went for strawberry and so on and so on. Just a minute. Then yield estimation modeling at the farm or the village level. The crop yield estimation is very complex activity as yield is influenced by many factors such as these. And in this particular regard, again, challenge seeks to develop web-based spatial decision. You talk about sensor networks to provide estimate of yield at the farm level. Solution should be able to evaluate 2-3 different types of crops, taking up block, oblique tehsil, and so on and so on. And so one of the startups that is there, let me show you, this is Agnext technology. No doubt this talks about digitizing the food qualities and so on. But then when I want to talk about digitization, then one can, I don't know why this, okay. I don't know, maybe there is some issue with respect to there is some particular issue with respect to the security of this. And this Agnest is working at the intersection of hardware, software, and analytics for quality estimation in agriculture and the food. And, let me see if this another website open up to give a just a brief about these particular details. So this focuses on solving food quality, food safety, food traceability issue in agriculture, food value chain. Deploying its award-winning Qualix platform uses latest technology in computer vision, spectroscopy, IoT, merged with AI database science for instant analysis of physics, physical chemistry, and ambient quality of food. Okay. Yes, Dr. Ashwini Bhadwaj has raised the hand. Is the screen not visible? Okay. So use of technology in sorting, grading, increasing the shelf life of agriculture produce. So here again the challenge in seeking technological solutions to increase the efficiency of this and so on. So these were some of those challenges that were posed to the various startups. And then let me just again talk about some of the 8 Indian. Then let us, we can skip all this and then we let us get into this managed discussion paper. This manage.gov.in, this manage is in Hyderabad, Manage Center for Agricultural Extension, Innovation, Reforms and Agripreneurship. Here you can see it is in Rajendra Nagar, Hyderabad. And this particular document talks about all those particular startup ecosystem and so on. It talks about, let me just show you various startups that this particular document talks about. So here you can see when you want to talk about the key features for development of startup in agriculture case, obviously this will be a common for others as well. You talk about ideation, concept development, commitment, validation, scaling up, establishment of startup and so on. And in this case they did give up some of the examples for various startups. That's what I wanted to come up actually in this case. So here you can see I talk about Agri-Tech Lab 2016. So its founder, headquarters, product name, software and so on. This is their description. That is yes, Dr. Avinash Bhardwaj and Usha Maurya has raised the hand. You have any questions? So in this case, it provides a quick, accurate, portable and easy to use assessment tool, and the solution currently involves imaging of produce using standard smartphone assessment using state-of-art deep learning and computer vision based algorithms and so on. So similarly here they have their mode of action, active region, funding, impact, and this is their website. Similarly with respect to second and so on. So with respect to these Kamal Kisan, that is a vegetable handy planters. This is, yes, let me show you this one, this website, Kamal Kisan. Simple solution, solutions for smart farmer. And this is the products that they deliver. One is vegetable planters. So a handy low cost planter which can plant most vegetable and fruit saplings with significant reduced trajectory, and this is their main features. You talk about mulch layer, you talk about a raised bed maker, mulch cum bed maker, and so on and so on. Now, so what we are doing now is that these are basically the various agricultural startups, but then along with them it is only that, okay fine, these particular people have actually wanted to talk more on the direction. For many of the times the participants or the student when say that we have been talking mostly about IoTs, analytics and so on. So in that case, this what you are seeing is something which is more mechanical oriented. So that these are also some of the directions which the students can think of. Then this is another, when you want to talk about drone, it is aerial robotic and mapping technology to provide farmers with actionable data through mapping technology. and this is their basically mode of action. This is their website and so on. So this particular paper, one can actually go through these particular documents with respect to all these particular related to either the drones or related to IoT based startups. Then this is one more link which is of Indian Council of Agricultural Research, that is Agri Startup Reflection iCard Technology Market. Now here, this is that particular book. Sorry, this is the one, yes. This is Agri Startups Reflection of iCard Technology in the Market. And these are the number of startups that are there. When you want to talk about agri engineering machine tools, these are some of the startups. Biopesticides and crop nutrition, these are somewhere around 14 startups. This particular document is this particular document I'm just looking for basically the when they have actually come out with. Okay. So this particular here you can see with respect to biopesticide and crop nutrients, these are somewhere around 14 documents. Then with respect to crop protection and production processes, around 12, fish product and processes 9, food product and processes something around 39, seed and planting material 15, and so on and so on. And then all these particular various startups, suppose I just take up randomly, that is WS Telematics Private Limited, with respect to the technology, that is PUSA soil testing and fertilizer recommendation meter kit technology. This was started in 2015. Talked about direct marketing, production was 400 numbers per year, turnover is 2 crores with 20 employees. And then obviously name of the institute, number of licensed technology, non-exclusive, and agri-engineering machines and tools. They talk about AM traders and so on. So these are some of the what I started off with, some startups, 10 numbers. We get into the details, and now you can see all these particular summaries of various startups that are there in the agricultural side. It is only the students will have to see that what kind of gaps that is still available. Now here you can see one of the startup, Mehav Food Private Limited. It talks about chemical free ice creams, started in 2017 with more than 25 lakh turnover, and obviously they want to talk about all those ice creams which are chemical free. Milk Food Factory and so on. So see, these are some of the various startups with respect to agriculture. Let me just refer to some of the more links. These are the past exhibitors of Agri-Tech India Food X series, where you can find many such startups. Now, let me talk about one was with respect to all agriculture. although here you will find many such, you know, common which are there with respect to agriculture as well as with respect to rural also. These are some of the ones which have, although I start talking about, this, that whether this will really be in context of rural startups, but when I see that when any city which is surrounded by various villages, then at that particular time such kind of websites will actually lead to increase in the income of the farmers. That is bhajiwala, you talk about fruit, vegetables, masalas and so on. And then leading rural startup changing the fortunes of rural India. These are some of the rural startups which has been, named up. So here you can see one is AgroStar, EI Bono, Apna, Awaz, Bhajiwala, Bharat Agri, Vijak. Obviously, as I already told you that this is related to agriculture, but the one which is this that is Chikitsak. India-based Milind Nayak founded Chikitsak, a health tech business. Its goal is to provide health care to the rural residents. Bharat Agri works directly with the farmers and entire agriculture value chain. Bhajiwala we talked about. Then this is the one that is Awas, strong sense of community and social duty which aligns with the Gandhian values. Design features in this is we all listen closely to the special need communities of children, parent, educators and therapists and so on. So these are some of these Clo ventures, commercial cultivation and sale of high quality fruits and vegetables. We had some of the names which we have already talked about. But then when we refer to this accentgroupindia.com, the list is huge basically. These are basically the rural startups that have actually come. These are some more links with extrachai.com. Top 10 again, rural entrepreneurs making India proud. Okay. Now these are the ones which are actually the rural entrepreneurs. Mansukh Bhai Jagani, one what I talked about is that you have some particular engineers and you talked about the entrepreneurship in a very organized manner. There are some entrepreneurs who are linked with the grassroots innovations, and when they want to talk about, they say that look, we have went for an arrangement and then later on they became entrepreneurs because that arrangement itself, this innovation which led to increase in productivity turned around to be blessing for hundreds of farmers in India. And Bullet Shanti has won the patent in India and US as well. Second one, Mansukh Bhai, he talked about Chetak, the cotton stripping machine. Mansukh Bhai Prajapati, he has now become a big name with his fridge that is Mitti Cool. Now, once the products here you can see National Innovation Foundation, the Bullet Shanti, and then Dadaji Hobrage, and he talks about after a year of trial and error developed a high quality successful variety of paddy. When you talk about these people do not talk about in terms of calculations, but they talk about their produce with their practical application of mind and moving hands ups and downs thousands of times in a day for a single sari. So Malesham invented a device which mechanized the process and reduced the human effort to bare minimum. This is another direction where the student needs to observe what is happening in the various process of production of a product and see that what intervention of technologies can be given so that you then talk about such kind of products. Some of the some of the YouTubers are there who are, instead of showing that look, these are some of the rural entrepreneurs or the startups, they instead talk about the application of such kind of technologies. So with this also we get some idea that okay, fine, if the students are exposed to such kind of applications as well, they might be able to look into the various. So here you can see that this man, that is farming leader, with the subscription of more than 5.25 million, means more than 50 lakh he has the subscriber, and then he talks about all those particular sirf motor chalu band sirf सात और 9 and so on and so on. So he talks about all those particular application of the technologies in the rural area. When I talk about, so here I just took up this particular farming leader. So when you talk about farming leader, this is the direction with respect to mechanical, this is with respect to civil, this is the with respect to decomposer. These are some of the technology applications which are in the core group of Department of Science and Technology, DST. That is RT, that is appropriate rural technology. So here you can see they talk about low crime from light agro waste, improved cook stove, bamboo for outdoor structures, and so on. So they, as I already told you, that this is their vision, mission, and this is their history of appropriate. This is another in Wardha, center of CSV. This is Center of Science for Village Wardha, that is this one. Yeah, here you can see that D Sitara, that is basically for the DST, that is Center of Science for Villages. So one can access them. And then one more organization which is into the technology applications in rural areas. Although I have been talking about rural startups, but when you see all these particular various organizations, then the students will be able to see that, oh fine, these are the various directions that we can talk in context. So here you can see they talk about CNC router tools, cultivation, solar dryer, dehusking, composter for individuals, Anupam oil extracting machines, and so on and so on.